Talent alone isn't enough. There's thousands of amazing skaters, surfers, bikers out there. We've all seen them on Instagram. Daily clips of just crazy tricks, MBDs. How do you keep up? Or, more to the point, how do you stand out against that noise? That is why your personal brand matters. Because if you're scrolling social media, seeing all of those crazy clips and just thinking, I haven't got a chance, then you've already lost. You need to find a way to stand out. And luckily, there is a way. And that is by building personal brand, identity, something unique to you, a reason that people will engage with you, will follow you, will become your fans, and a reason that brands and companies will want to partner with you. What is your personal brand? It is not just a list of sponsors or video parts. The easiest way to think about brand is that it's your reputation. It's what people think of when they think of you, what they associate with you. So it's how you make people feel, and it's how people feel about you. It's your style, it's your story, it's your tricks, it's the way you present yourself. And the more authentic that is to you, the more it's going to stand out, because the more unique it'll be. The more it's going to work long term, because it's easy, it's natural, and it's honest for you. And the better it is going to resonate with people. Especially nowadays, where there's just so much content, there's AI. The thing that's going to stand out is authenticity. Being human, being real, is going to be far more engaging, which is awesome. It's great. Play into that. And it's the difference between being just another athlete in the feed that, you know, you're scrolling Instagram, sick trick, like, great, but we don't care, right? You just scroll past stuff. Half the time you don't even bother liking it, because we're just sort of bored of seeing crazy tricks being done. But the people who have a strong brand or have something that like draws us to them, that's when we stop. That's when we engage. That's when we share it. That's when we remember people. And that is what I want you to have. Some people just hoping their tricks will speak for them and they'll build a career off it. So why bother? You might already be sponsored. You might be just hoping your tricks can do the talking, and you should get sponsored based on how good you are, or based on the events you win, you deserve to be sponsored. You've got to think of your athlete brand as your value. That value that you can bring to sponsors, that you can offer to partnerships. Because you can either build it and make yourself more valuable, worth more money to them, and have more control of your future. Because I hate to tell you, you're not always going to be learning new tricks, and you're not always going to be winning contests. Think like 15, 20 years down the line. How are you going to have a career? So you need something that sustains you for a career. Or you can just leave it in other people's hands. Just get what you're given, and it ends when it ends. But if you want to take control of your career and open up opportunities, you have to be thinking about how you're going to build and curate that athlete brand, because it's going to help you stand out and it's going to help you build a career. And the awesome thing about starting this journey and building your athlete brand is that it's additive. It's not distracting. Like, you don't have to just sit in this narrow topic box. Off-brand is mostly just kind of a myth. And if it's true to you and it's not hurting people, then it's additive. It's adding to your depth. It's adding to your character. It makes you more interesting and more engaging. And the more things we have that we connect with people with, the more loyal to them we're going to be. Think about Deshaun Jordan and making music, John Florence and sailing. John is far more interesting because of all the hobbies and interests he has outside of his raw surfing talent. What makes him so incredible and so valuable is that he has that talent, that skill, that ability, wins world titles, and has that whole personal brand as well that just stacks up on top. Because without that, he wouldn't have the same value. He's setting himself up for a whole career. He's just taken a year off from the tour, and it works because he's got brand. He's still able to put out content that's engaging, that's interesting. So it is about sharing those things that are interesting to you, the things you do outside of your sport. And one of the reasons that building and understanding your athlete brand and where it is you want to go with that is that it gives you a clear path, it gives you a strategy, so you're not just putting random stuff up there, but it also gives you permission, and it makes you feel more comfortable about posting the things that do interest you, because you know where you're going. You sort of know, you're like, right, these are the things I want to be talking about. Am I doing it or am I not? And it's much easier. And then you've got the other benefit that when you build a strong athlete brand, it basically works as your own sales and marketing. So opportunities come to you instead of you having to constantly try and reach out and convince people, hey, I should ride for you because I can do this or I won that. When you're exciting and engaging, people and brands will come to you with those opportunities, which again gives you more power, more value, and a better chance of building that long-term career. And it just compounds over time as the partnerships start coming in that align with your personal brand. It helps build it, and the projects you do, the content you put out, all just builds it over time. And so it's just something, just like your skill, just the skills that you're working on stack up over time. Investing in your personal brand is the same, and the earlier you start on it, the longer time you've got for that to be compounding. As well as attracting the right brands, it also acts as a filter for you to know which partnerships aren't right. Because if you're just taking any partnership that comes, anything that comes up, you're sort of diluting your brand. You're just like, what are you doing? Who are you? What do you stand for? Why are you aligning with this and then that? It's just like messy. But when you know who it is you want to be, who you want to be seen as, and who you are, then you can say no to the things that don't match. And that, just saying no, strengthens the identity of who you are. And I think now it's more important than ever because there are less gatekeepers than there used to be 15, 20 years ago. It used to be a lot more in the hands of other people. You had to get brought in, you had to get put in a magazine, you had to get put in a video part, and then they would be in control of sharing you. And if you weren't in that, it was very hard to break through. Now, we've all got our own way of creating content and putting stuff out. We don't have to have a filmer available. Obviously, the more you can work with a proper filmer and get good quality content, the better. But we still don't have an excuse. Because if you're watching this, you've got a phone. And that means you can film clips. So it's in our power, and we're able to start telling the story that we want to be telling earlier on. And then the attention of where those brands are has also changed. So now it very much is that brand managers just looking at Instagram or social media and at contests, at events. And it's the people who are interesting and standing out at those events, who are interesting standing out online, that are getting the attention of those brand managers, and they're like starting to keep an eye on that person, seeing how they develop, seeing how consistent they are, seeing if they would be a good fit for the brand, and also if they would be valuable, if they would get stuff done, if they would be out there creating content, or if they're going to be someone who's just constantly like trying to pull up, like, hey, I need a clip, get a clip, get a clip. That's not what companies want anymore. They want someone who knows what they're doing, knows how to do it. You know, the best thing for a company is to say, hey, want a project like this, here's the budget, can you go and get it done? Or maybe like, here's the filmer, can you go and get it done? And knowing that that athlete can deliver. And so showing that online, building your personal brand to show that, is essentially your CV for those brands. That they go, awesome, yep, they've got the experience, I can trust them, they can do it, we can bring them in, we're going to get lots of value back. Because at the end of the day, sponsorship is a trade of, we're sponsoring you, we're paying you, we're giving you product, we need sales stuff. We need you to be converting that into sales for us. It is that simple. And so your personal brand helps increase the power of that. Because the noise is just so high these days. There is just so much content coming out, so many clips, so much new stuff, that to stand out, you can't just be posting a new clip. Because it's like, cool, swiped, gone, that's in there like the other ones. Was it filmed on an iPhone? Was it at a skate park? Was it a Surfline rewind? Is it just the same as everybody else? Yeah, might not stand out. So you've got to think about, like, as people are scrolling, is your clip, is your footage gonna stand out? Is it gonna grab their attention? Is there some personality or something in the way you've done it that's gonna stand out? And ideally get shared, get remembered. And I think, like, your tricks are important. You've got to be good at your craft. You've got to have good tricks. But it's not your tricks in isolation. Your brand is what gives those tricks value. And we've seen it 100 times. We've all felt it, where you've seen somebody with great style or an awesome kind of essence about them do a simple trick. Maybe it's filmed well, or it's just the way they've done it, or the song they've cut with it, and it just hits. And you're like, damn, that was so sick. Yet you've swiped past 30 clips of better tricks. Because opportunities don't just go to the most talented. There is space out there for everyone. They go to the people who are most visible and have the most brand and value. So you need to start building and training your personal brand in the same way that you train your skills. Just working it out slowly over time, adding to it, building it, being consistent, being authentic, being truly yourself, finding your voice, and then over time, opportunities will come to you. And that's what I want athletes to get better at, because at the moment, a lot of the money that used to be given to athletes is going to other influencers, because they're really something good at shifting product. That's the problem. Influencers are influencers because they're great at influencing. And athletes used to really have a corner hold on that market, and they're losing it to influencers. So the better we can become as athletes at having a personal brand, having an audience, having a voice, the more we're going to be able to bring that money back into action sports. So I want us all to get better at it. I want you to get better at it. And I hope this content is going to help you to start thinking about that. Good girl, we're done.